By the end of this video, you will have mastered how to find the surface area of any square pyramid, and all I ask in return is that you smash that like button, or I will be forced to divide by 0. Let's get started. Okay, so here we have a square pyramid, and before we jump into the formula, there are a couple things that we should make sure that we know. The first of which is to understand what is meant by surface area. A simple way to think of it is the combined area of all the surfaces of this shape. So if you imagine you're holding this in your hand, you'd be able to touch 4 sides of the pyramid, the front, right, back, and left sides, as well as the base underneath. So in total, we have 5 sides, or 5 surfaces. Something else to consider is the fact that this is a square pyramid, and the way it gets its name is from the base itself. So since the base here, we're told is a square, therefore the pyramid itself is considered a square pyramid. So the formula for surface area is equal to capital B, which represents the area of the base, in this case the square, plus, and then we need to take care of the 4 other sides. And a simple method of doing that would be 1/2 times the perimeter times the slant height, denoted by a lowercase cursive l. Be careful not to confuse the slant height with the actual height of the pyramid here in red. The height of the pyramid is drawn from the apex at the top, straight down into the center, in this case the center of the square base. And slant height is actually the height of the triangle, drawn from the vertex up here, down to the base of this triangle at 90 degrees. And all 4 of the sides, all 4 of the lateral sides with these triangles all have a slant height. And in this case, since the square is our base, all slant heights would be equal to each other. Let's say our base has a width of 10. As this is a square base, we know that all sides will be 10, of course. And we can quickly find the area of the base, the first portion of our formula. So the area of a square is simply length times width, or just s squared, the side squared, which would equal 10 squared, and therefore 100. So far, we have the first part of our formula. Now let's say our slant height happens to be 8. So our second portion, we're going to add to the 100, 1/2 times the perimeter, which in this case would be 10 times 4, 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10, giving us 40, and times our slant height of 8. So 1/2 times 40 would be 20, times our 8 equals 160. But don't forget, that's only the second portion of our formula. So we need to add the 160 to the 100, and we would end up with 260 units squared. To fully understand why that formula works, again, we know that we are adding the area of all the surfaces, and the base is the simplest here because it's simply a square. So the capital B, the area of the base, was simply the length times the width. The second part that looks a little more confusing, the 1/2 times perimeter times slant height, is actually a lot simpler than it looks. And the reason is, imagine if we were to find just the area of one face of the pyramid. Let's say this one facing us. So if we kept the same base length of 10 and slant height of 8, imagine we were trying to find the area of this triangle here. Well, the area of a triangle is simply 1/2 times base times height. Now this height, as an h, does represent the slant height of the pyramid because it is the height of this triangle here facing us. This line right here, which is essentially our altitude. So if we were to complete this, we would have 1/2 times 10 times 8. The 1/2 times 10 gives us 5, times 8 still gives us 40. And we know that this is just one of 4 equivalent triangles. So if we multiply the 40 by 4, we would end up with 160 as the lateral area. In other words, the area of all the surfaces minus the base itself. So instead of having to do this 4 times or get it once and multiply by 4, we can add the perimeter here, all the 10s around, and multiply it 1 time by our slant height, and then multiply by 1/2. And by doing that, we would get all 4 lateral surfaces at once. Okay, let's take a look at another example you're likely to see. We have another square pyramid, this time with a base length of 16. But now, instead of being given the slant height, which would be a little more straightforward, let's say we were given the height. Again, that's from the apex up here down to, in this case, the center of the square base. And let's say this height happens to be 6 units. Okay, so if we recall, our formula is still area of the base plus 1/2 times perimeter times slant height. So we still do need to find our slant height here somehow. We need to form a new right triangle in order to find the slant height. Remember that each side of the pyramid, in this case, has the same slant height length. So we can draw another slant height over here, a little easier to see, and create a right triangle with the height of the pyramid itself. So if we connect these, you can see that we've got a new right triangle with the slant height that ends up being our hypotenuse, as it is opposite the 90 degrees. So far we have the height of this triangle. In order to find the hypotenuse, which is the slant height that we need, we'll need this measure here, which is the base of this right triangle we just formed. And in order to get that, we must remember that this ends up being the exact center of the square. So therefore, this length here is exactly 1/2 of our base length. Therefore, we have a measure of 8. Now we can use Pythagorean theorem to solve for the hypotenuse. 6 squared plus 8 squared equals our slant height squared. So we have 36 plus 64 equals slant height squared. 100 equals L squared, and we'll square root both sides and end up with our slant height is equal to 10. Now we're ready to plug in and solve for the surface area of this square pyramid. First, we'll start with the area of the base, and that is going to be 16 squared, 16 times the 16 over here, plus 1/2 times perimeter, in this case 16 times 4, which is 64, times our slant height, which was 10. And now we have 16 squared is 256 plus, and we can go ahead and distribute the 1/2 into the 64 to make it a little bit easier. That would be 32 times 10, 256 plus 32 times 10, we can just throw in a 0 at the end, plus 320. And we end up with a final result of 576 units squared. Let's take a look at one more example. Say your teacher is nice and gave you the slant height, and it's 5. But instead of giving the base, we're actually given the diagonal of the base itself. And let's say that length is 10 units, going diagonally. So according to our formula, we still need the area of the base, the square, plus 1/2 times perimeter times slant height. So right now, all we have is slant height, which is 5. We're going to need to find the length of the square base. I'm going to redraw the base, this time upright, so we can see it a little bit better. And here's our diagonal length of 10. So hopefully we know, when it comes to a square, the diagonals are angle bisectors. We know this angle is 90, and so are all the corners. In this case, this is being split in half, so this must end up being a 45, 45, 90 right triangle. There's a very specific relationship between the sides and the hypotenuse, and it is x, since these sides are congruent to each other, and x times the square root of 2. Now, since our diagonal is 10, and we know it's root 2 times as much as either side, we can solve for the side by dividing the 10 by square root of 2. And of course, we cannot have radicals in the denominator, so we need to rationalize this by multiplying by square root of 2 over square root of 2. And the reason this works is by multiplying square root of 2 times itself, we're squaring it and essentially undoing the square root. And the reason we need a square root of 2 on top is because square root of 2 over square root of 2 is equal to just 1, since it's divided by itself, and it does not change the overall fraction. This gives us 10 square root 2 divided by square root of 2 times square root of 2 is simply square root of 4, which would simplify to just 2. And now we can simplify further. The 10 and the 2 can divide. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So now we have 5 square root of 2 over 1, which we don't need to write. So now we know the width of this square base is 5 square roots of 2. Okay, and now we have all the information we need to solve for the surface area of this square pyramid. First portion again is the area of the base, which would be 5 root 2 times 5 root 2, which would be 5 root 2 times 5 root 2. And that equals, the 5s would multiply to get 25. And the root 2's multiply and simplify to just 2, as again, root 2 times root 2 would be square root of 4, which simplifies to 2. This gives us 50. So far, we have our area of the base. Now we need to add to that the 1/2 times perimeter. In this case, we have 5 root 2 all around. So here's 5 root 2, another 5 root 2, and so on and so forth. And that would add up to 20 square roots of 2. So 20 root 2 times our slant height, which was given 5. Again, we can go ahead and distribute the 1/2 into the 20 root 2. And this would simplify to 10 root 2, still times 5. And this would give us 50 square roots of 2. And then simply combine that with the area of the base, which was 50. So we have 50 plus 50 square root of 2 units squared. This would be your final answer, unless your teacher asks you to give it in decimal form, in which case you would take the square root of 2, multiply that by 50 to get a decimal, and then add 50 to that. And whatever the unit is, of course, would be squared.